Let's continue on with section 3 of our Falling for Autumn quilt. Hey everyone, Cristin here, and we are continuing with our Falling for Autumn quilt. So we have completed sections 1 and section 2 and done some personalizations, and it just looks great. I am loving this quilt. And yesterday we did our crisp apples block with that cool fusible vinyl on there. So neat. All right, and so now we're going to continue on with section 3. So today we're going to work on the hay rides block. So hay rides block is on page 37 of our book. Grab your packet if you made packets. If you haven't purchased the packets, I highly recommend it. It makes it so easy. I'm working on a few different projects and I've got my packets for all of the different projects, and it just, you grab a packet and you get to work. It's super easy. So if you haven't bought the packets, I'll give you a link here. I'm sure that hopefully you've bought the packets. They're so helpful, but they come off of Amazon. They're really easy, and there's like 35 in a pack, so they're very helpful. All right, let's talk about what we need for today. Like I said, it's on page 37. So I have a little personalization I'm going to do on this. I'll talk about that. But first, let's just go over what we need. So the first thing is our main fabric. It is like a camel brown color, camel tan color, silky solid, no design on it. And this we're going to start with at 8.5 by 8.5. All right, so our main fabric, 8.5 by 8.5. And as always, make sure to back your main fabric with fusible backing. All right, you definitely want that stabilized. All right, so 8.5 by 8.5 for our main fabric. And then we have for the tires. So there's 2 fabrics for our tires because they're kind of far away. So the 2 fabrics are a chocolate brown color, and these are going to be 2 by 2, 2 pieces that are 2 by 2 for the tire. And I did back mine with fusible stabilizer. The applique pieces, it's completely optional. I find it to lay down nicer. It cuts easier. I prefer to have mine, my applique pieces stabilized, but that's optional, up to you. So 2 pieces that are 2 by 2, 1 for each tire. And then we have the truck. So the truck is a blue silky solid. In all honesty, I wish there was a little design to this. I think that would be cute on the truck, but there's enough satin stitching and that hay. Oh my goodness, that will be so fun. So anyway, our silky solid, plain blue silky solid, this is going to be 6.5 by 5 for the truck. 6.5 by 5. Again, I did back mine with fusible stabilizer. That's completely optional. For the truck fabric, 6.5 by 5. All right, and then we have the window. The window is a light blue silky solid, no design to it. And this one we are going to have at 3.5 by 2. One piece that is 3.5 by 2. I did back mine with fusible stabilizer. I want to mention this is going to be on top of this, and you don't want this coming through. So it is recommended. I would recommend putting fusible stabilizer on the back of that. If you don't do it for your other applique pieces, I would at least do it for this lighter fabric that's going to be against that dark fabric. But up to you. Truck window, 3.5 by 2. All right. And then we have for the hay base. So this is going to be the underneath part of the hay. There's going to be strips on top of this. So this will make it so that it's all underneath so that we don't have any other color showing through. This is the hay base. We want this to be 4 by 2, 4 by 2 for the hay base. All right. And I did back this with fusible stabilizer. This is the hay base. And you know, I just realized I stabilized my hay strips fabric. It probably would have been better to not stabilize this. I'll let you know how it ends up. But if you haven't already stabilized, I think I probably would not stabilize this. I think we want it to look a little bit frayed. All right, so this is the hay strips, and we want this to be 4 by 7. So it's actually like this, 4 by 7 for the hay strips. And I'll show you what we're going to do to this. I looked at it a little bit. We're going to cut it into 18 strips, and we're not going to use use the strips with the 2 torn edges. Do not use the other 2 strips. So that's why I'm thinking if you don't stabilize it, that would be better. So I might even just grab another piece from my stash if I have one. I might do that. So if you have not already stabilized, I would recommend not stabilizing it. But again, I'll let you know more as we get there. All right, so this is the hay strips 4x7. All right, and then we have that clear vinyl, and mine loves to get stuck inside of the packet. So if you think you lost it, just take a look in your packet again. So this is clear vinyl. And we want, this is for on top of the truck window, and we want this to be 3.5 by 2. All right, 3.5 by 2 for the clear vinyl. All right, and then we will also need our wash away topping. So just like we used yesterday, actually I didn't even use it on my apples. We were supposed to though, so I showed it in the tutorial, but it's this one, the lighter blue. All right, the wash away topping, it goes on top, and so it will help hold those hay strips in place. So you want to have wash away topping on hand for sure. And the size on that is going to be 7.5 by 6. Actually, it shows 5 pieces. Wash away topping, 5 pieces that are 7.5 by 6. That's a lot of wash away topping. I just noticed that. 5 pieces, 7.5 by 6 for the wash away topping. And I just want to point out again, like yesterday, this is the wash away embroidery stabilizer. It does not say topping. So this one says wash away topping embroidery stabilizing. This one goes in the hoop. All right, that's how it's different. This one is for like freestanding lace. It's for inside of the hoop. This is for inside of the project, or on top, I'm sorry, on top of the project. So this is the one we're going to use today. And like I said, 5 pieces at 7.5 by 6. All right, and then there's one other thing is, so the batting. Let's talk about the batting. Sorry, I almost forgot the batting. So on the batting, we want one piece of batting that is 7 by 7, 7 by 7 for our batting. All right. And then we're going to quilt this with plaid 3. That will be really pretty with this truck. I love that. Plaid 3 in a 6 by 6 design. All right, plaid 3 in 6 by 6. So if you are using a smaller hoop and you can't fit that 6 by 6 quilting design, you would double hoop and you would do one that is 4 by 6 and one that is 2 by 6. Very easy to do. All right, so those 2 hoopings. Now I want to point out, so just like yesterday when we moved that crisp apple design from the embroidery part from the quilting part, we're going to do that again. So same thing as yesterday. It says align the block embroidery file so that it is centered vertically and a 1/2 inch from the outside left edge of the quilting design. All right, so we're going to do that right from the start. So I'm going to bring you over to the computer and show you how to do that. We are going to move that at the beginning. So there are special cut instructions, but they're not going to apply to us because we're going to quilt in the hoop. And so we'll move that embroidery design right from the start. So in the trimming instructions, it says square the finished block to 6.5 by 6.5 with the design centered horizontally and with the top of the truck 1/2 inch below the inner top edge of the ruler. So I'll show a photo of that ours will already be that way because we're going to move it from the start. All right, and then the other thing is I want to personalize my truck. I want to write Psalm on the back or something on the back, whatever you want on the back of your truck. And you don't have to do that. That's completely optional. But since I'm going to bring you over to embroidery software anyway, I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to take a look at a few different fonts and see what looks nice so that you can choose to do that as well if you prefer. I'm going to add my last name to the truck. All right, so that's it for today. One simple hayride block. I think it's going to be really interesting with that hay. So that will be a fun, interesting experience. So I will share photos of the whole bit while I get it done. Hey everyone, I'm at my computer now, and if you decide that you want to personalize your truck, I am going to take you on a little shopping trip and show you some different font options. So let's open up Embellishment Essentials. That's the embroidery software that I use. And down here in the bottom, it says what hoop size you're on. And I'm on my 5 by 7 right now, and that's not going to work for this. There is an option, by the way, if your largest hoop is a 5 by 7. I mentioned earlier in the video that the truck will fit in your hoop. You just have to do 2 hoopings of the quilting. So I'm going to go up here to my preferences folder, and I'm going to choose my 8 by 8 hoop. and say okay, and then I'm going to go to this compass button and click H so that it zooms into the hoop, and you can see down here at the bottom I'm on my 8x8 hoop, which isn't actually 8x8. It says the actual size here too. All right, so I'm going to start by bringing in the quilting design, although it would be easier to show you the fonts without the quilting, but I'm going to go ahead and do that because we always want to bring in the quilting first anyway, and we need to move that truck. I forgot about that for a second. All right, so let's see. I'm going to open up my quilting designs, and we want plaid 3 in a 6x6. All right, so I'm going to scroll down, find the 6x6 right there. 6x6 plaid, that is so cute, especially for this truck. I really like that. All right, so there's our quilting design. Now I'm going to bring in the truck, and the truck is sideways in the pictures of the book because of the hoop that they're using. So if you're using a 8x12 hoop, you could use a 6x10, but you'd have to take out those the steps 3 and 4 of the quilting because then it won't fit, and I talked about that in the very first video. So I'm going to go ahead and go to merge stitch file, and I'm going to close up the quilting, and I'm going to go to the embroidery files, Pez, and the quilt, and then it will start populating the design. So the first ones that come up are always the ones that I've already created. So I'm just going to scroll down until I find the truck right there. Double click on the truck and it goes to the center, and see what I was saying is that it is sideways. Since I'm using my 8x8 hoop, I don't need it sideways, and it will be easier for me to see, to be able to show you the fonts if I turn it. So completely up to you and what hoop size that you're using. But even if you're using like a 5x7 hoop or a 6x10 hoop or 8x12 hoop, if your design is going to be turned, you can still turn it now to do the editing and then bring it to your machine and it'll be fine. We've shown that in other videos. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on just the truck design. I want to make sure that I don't have the quilting, I just have the truck, and actually this plaid design, you could have it either way, it's going to be fine. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit this rotate right button so I can rotate the truck. All right, and I'm just looking to think if the quilting is going to be different at all. There are lines going both ways, so it doesn't matter. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it like that. And remember, we need to move this truck design. So for that purpose, actually, I probably should have it exactly the way they have it. I'm going to go ahead and rotate my quilting also. So I'm clicking on just the quilting design. It's that first one. It's the same way one way or the other, so it doesn't really matter, but just in case, I'm going to go ahead and rotate that. So we rotated the truck right. I'm going to rotate the quilting design right. And again, you can leave yours left, but for editing the truck, to be able to add in a name, you would want it turned. And then when you're done, you could turn it back, or you could leave it as is and it's going to go right on your machine anyway. So either way, that will be fine. All right, so but we do want to move this truck. So we want the truck to be a 1/2 inch from the outer line, and this is that outer line. This is the placement and tack down of the main fabric. It's the farthest point of the design, and we want that truck a 1/2 inch from there. So I showed on yesterday's video when we did the crisp apples, I showed a couple of ways of doing that. And I thought the easiest way was to just use that ruler function. So we can do that to get, you do want those grid lines, by the way. And if you don't have your grid, go up to view, and it was in the draw grid right there. So make sure you have your grid on there. That definitely helps. And we can see the measurements as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the ruler right here. If I click on this ruler, and let's see, oh, that was the other thing, is I could move the design. That was the other option I showed, is you can move the design so that it's on one of those lines. I'm sitting here pointing at my computer, but that does nothing for you. Sorry. So right here, these grid lines, you could move the design so it's on the grid line. That might help you as well, and I showed that in yesterday's video. Sorry, reading a message. Okay, So I'm going to use this ruler design, and I'm just going to measure from the outer line and to the top of the truck just to get an idea of where we're at right now. So from here, and we want this to be as accurate as possible, and you could zoom in, by the way, either way, whatever works for you. So down in the bottom left-hand corner, and I can't show you that while I'm holding this ruler button, so you have to just look in the lower left-hand corner of the embrilliance. It tells you where you're at. So like right now I'm at 5/16, 3/8, 7/16, and then 1/2 inches right here. So it's right above that first teal line, which isn't going to matter once I move it. Well, actually it will. So I'm going to use that as my guide, and I'll have to check it again, of course, but I'm going to use that as my guide. So it's right above that teal line is where my 1/2 inch is. So I'm going to release that ruler and uncheck it. And then I'm going to click on the embroidery design, and I'm just going to use my arrow keys to move it up. Again, if yours is turned left, you would use your left arrow key. I'm going to use my up arrow key. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to try 10 for now and just see if that works. All right, so you might not have to do all the measurements if you just use how many I'm saying I'm moving it. But excuse my voice. All right, I'm going to click outside so that nothing is selected, and I'm going to click on that ruler, and from this outer line here, that orange line, I'm going to measure to the top of my truck. And look at that. Wow, it's exactly 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch from the outer line, that orange line, to the top of my truck is 1/2 inch, is exactly a 1/2 inch. So that's what we wanted to do, is we wanted to move it up. And notice I moved it up by 10 clicks of my upper arrow. If your truck is turned, it would be 10 clicks to the left arrow. And then check it, of course, to be sure. You saw how easy it is to use that ruler tool. All right, so now our truck is lined up where it should be. It's up near the top because we're going to put that, what do you call it, that little sign at the bottom. That's why we're moving it up. I wondered, I'm like, why do we need so much space at the bottom? It's for that hayrides sign at the bottom. I didn't realize that until just now. All right, so that part is all done. If you are not personalizing, excuse me, you would just save it and send it to your machine now. That's good. Or if you decide that you want to personalize it, I'm going to show you some options. So keep in mind that you want to do this with your name. But I'm going to give you some ideas because I already went through all of my embroidery fonts, and I have a ton of them. So it should give you some good ideas. That's Archer. All right, so I'm going to go to this button here. It's got the big A. It says Create Letters. If I click on that, it automatically opens up to this block style. And that block style font you get free from Embrilliance Essentials when you purchase Embrilliance Essentials. And if you're in the market for embroidery software and you haven't purchased it yet, please use my affiliate link. I'm pointing up to a link that you click on to be able to purchase Embrilliance Essentials. It is my affiliate link. It gives me a little kickback for teaching you how to use Embrilliance. So please, whenever you need any Embrilliance products, please use that link. All right, so like I said, you get this block font for free from Embrilliance, and I want to show you it actually works really well. If you want to just use that, put in your name. So where it says text here, type your name and then hit return, and you can see that it changes right here to that name. Now obviously we're going to want to center it, so I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm going to center it using those black squares to show me where my center is with my name. It has to be with your name, obviously, but I'm just going to eyeball it and center it, and that looks great. So like I said, this block style font looks great, and with this truck, it's actually a really good font for this purpose. So you could just stay with that, or I'm going to show you some others if you choose to do a little shopping and try some other fonts out. So I looked through all of mine, and there were several options that were good and several that were really bad, that like so look at this font. So it gives you, when you're in Embrilliance, it gives you an eyeball of your fonts, and so like see these really narrow ones, that obviously would not look good on this truck. So you know right away going in that that's not going to be the font. And if you're looking for a script font, great. I think a script font, that's not the look that I wanted for this truck, so I bypassed all of those as well. So I'm just scrolling up to the top because the very first one of the ones that I liked was up near the top. So this AD Farmhouse Lemonade Alpha, that is one that I checked out and I really liked it a lot. I don't remember who I bought this from, and I lost all of my products or all of my designs because my hard drive failed. And so thankfully they're all loaded into Embrilliant so I can still keep them, but I don't remember where I downloaded this. So what I did for you is I Googled it to see who else has it available, because AD makes me think it's like Applique Design or somewhere, but I didn't find that. So Designs by Juju has it available at the exact same Farmhouse Lemonade font. The other one is Creative Appliques. They have it as well. So if you decide on this one, that's where you can get it, Designs by Juju or Creative Appliques. And I'm going to click on the 1-inch design and watch over on the truck how it changes by just clicking that font. All right, so I like that. I think that looks really cool. I like that a lot. I would obviously have to size it to make it fit exactly within the back of that truck, but that's a really good option. So I'm just going to keep going through some of these so that you can see other options. So another one that I thought looked really good, and again, this is with the letters of my name, so yours might come out weird, and I'll show you in a minute what I mean. So this one is Say Something. It's by Applique Market. It's a 1-inch design, and that is a really cute look. And again, I would have to size it just a little bit, but that's a really fun font. I liked that. Another one that I liked, let me look down here. I think it was, sometimes they're hard to find, so just bear with me a moment here. Here it is. So this Fun Font, BK Fun Font. So BK means that it was made by Baby K Appliques, which is no longer in business, but Gemini Red bought them. And so you can go to Gemini Red's website and they have that available, the Fun Font. So that looks really good on the truck. Again, I'd have to size it a bit. So I'm going to bypass the next one because that's actually the one I've decided on, I think. All right, but I'm just going to show you some options. And again, you want to check them with your name. So Designs by Juju has them. Sometimes they're under DBJJ, sometimes they're under DBJJ space and then the name. And so they're kind of all over. So you just have to look for it. So this Happy Home in a 1-inch, I thought that looked really good for this truck specifically. That's a good one. Again, by Designs by Juju. And then another one. So whenever you want to change it, you just come down here to the font. You can see the font down here and you click on this arrow and it shows you all the fonts that you have loaded onto Embrilliance Essentials. And I've shown several times how to load them. You literally just unzip the folder and then drag the BX font to the workspace and it loads it for you and keeps them there for you. All right, so another one, let me see, this Piece by Piece by Designs by Juju. That is a really nice font. That fits really well. I'd have to size it a little bit, but that's a really good look for this truck, in my opinion. Again, you have to look at the letters of your name and the look that you're looking for. All right, so another one, let's see, this was, let me see if I can find it. So see how I was saying, so these Designs by Juju, they had DBJJ and then the number. Some of them had DBJJ space. And so it just makes it a little bit hard to find them, unfortunately. But for the most part, it works. You just kind of look through your fonts. So where did I find this one? There it is, Beneath Your Beautiful. So this one looked good. Beneath Your Beautiful, that one is a good font for this truck. I liked that. And then this one, I wrote a little note to show you what I was talking about, that it really depends on your name. So this Delicate Flower. So that is a really good font. This is by Designs by Juju, Delicate Flower, but I don't like the M. I don't like the M at all for this look. It's just not what I would like. And so that's what I'm saying, is you have to check with the letters of your name, because you might get a weird S, a weird F, you know, whatever it is. So just look through the letters of your name when you're deciding on one. All right, so Board Book, that was another good one right here. I like that a lot. I like that. It's a little bit more formal with the caps on the ends of the letters, but I like that. All right, and another one is Everything. Right there, Everything 1-inch, and that is Designs by Juju as well. A nice simple font. That's much more simple, which for a truck is pretty cool. All right, and then this one I have a star next to it, so I really liked it. Let me see. This was grade school 1-inch. So that is a nice one. I like that one a lot. Again, it would have to be sized just a tiny bit, but that's a really good look. I like that one a lot. Designs by Juju, grade school. That is a fun one. So I have a star next to that one and one other one. But all of these I really like, and that's why I'm showing you, lots of options. So you can look through your fonts to see what you have and go, oh yeah, I remember she showed me this one and I liked it. So, it might save you some time from having to check it. This one is Lovely Farm, again, by Designs by Juju, and that's a good font, a little bit more classy than Simple. So depending on the look that you want. All right, and then another one, I don't know how to pronounce it, To New Road. Where is it? Right there, To New Road, Designs by Juju in a 1-inch. That one is really good. I like that one a lot. That's a really good look. It would have to be sized quite a bit in this 1-inch, but I like the look of that a lot. So another one that I liked is, we'll have to see if I can find it. Right there, Marker. So Marker by Itch to Stitch. So Marker or Itch to Stitch was sold. That's a really good look for this truck. I like that a lot. But Itch to Stitch is no longer in business, and they sold their company to Designs by Juju. So you can get most of the fonts from Designs by Juju. So just if you like that one, do a search for Marker. All right. And then look at, I want to point out this. So some companies, they don't put their name in anything and like on the design files or any way to find it. And that is maddening to me. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, if you own a company, you should be advertising it in every opportunity. So this sparkling wine, I have no idea who this is from. And look at what a cool font that is. I think that is so fun. And I have absolutely no idea where I got it because it doesn't say anything on the file or in the design name or anything. But that's a really fun one. So if you like that one, you could Google it. I didn't take the time to Google it. So, but that's fun. I love that. I don't know. I like that one a lot. So some others are Stitchtopia. This is the second to last one I'm going to show you. But just giving you ideas of company names to look for. So this Favorite Color by Stitchtopia, I've shown it before. It's a really fun font. I really like that. I think it's just fun. It's not really the look I'm looking for on this truck, but it's a nice font. And there's a ton of fonts that I love, but they're not right for this, like Maya and what was the other one? I think it was Maya. Maya is one of my favorites, but for this, it looked terrible. So that's why you have to like look at them. So look, that just looks horrible. It's a really scripty font, and with capital letters, it's just messy. It doesn't look right. And yet that's one of my very favorite fonts. So that's why you have to look through your fonts and see what looks good with your name. All right, so the one I think I'm leaning on, I really like that Grade School by Designs by Juju. I liked that a lot. Let's look at that again really quick. And then I'll show you the one I think I'm going to go with. So Designs by Juju, Grade School. I believe it was up here. I have a lot of fonts. I'm very thankful to have a ton of fonts. If you can find like a font bundle, and don't forget, I've mentioned this before, Designs by Juju has these great deals where you buy like 10 designs and then you get them for like $1 or $1.50 or something like that. Every month they have these special deals. So keep that in mind too. You could buy a bunch of fonts for a really good price. All right, so here's that Grade School. I like that a lot. It's simple and it looks good on this truck. So the other one that I was leaning toward, I'm going to have to see if I can find it now. I think it was up toward the front, toward the top. And this one was a Baby K. So Baby K, let's see if I can find it. All right. Should be, yep, right there. So Jambo. Look at, isn't that fun? I really like that. I think that's a super fun font. It's a little bit different and wild, and I like that a lot. So I'm leaning toward that, but again, I really like that Grade School too. And all of the ones that I've shown you, I really liked. But again, it depends on your letters and the look that you're going for. So I really like this. Since it's from Baby K, when I bought it, it was from Baby K, but Baby K is no longer in business. So now it's Gemini Red. So let me see if I can show you real quick. All right, so if you open up a browser and go to Gemini Red, I think what I did is I put Jambo in. I think I put Baby K Jambo, and then this Gemini Red came up. So here is the font. It's a fun font. I don't know about any special deals that they have or anything. I actually haven't bought from Gemini Red yet, but I know that they took over Baby K. So it is something that's available if you choose you like that one. But all the ones that I showed you looked really cool. And again, it depends on the letters of your name. So once you get it in there, you will need to resize it. So I'm going to go ahead and just take any of the corners. All right. It has to be on the corner to be able to resize the entire design. And I think if you hit the control button, if I haven't done this for a while, so I have to check and see, I'm going to hold the control button while I'm moving this. And I think it keeps it centered. I don't remember. No, it didn't. So it wasn't that. I don't remember how I did that before. I'll have to research that. Or if you remember, you can give me a reminder. All right, so I want it smaller, obviously. So I'm just going to shrink it down until it fits well in here without any overlap. And that looks really good right there. So I've mentioned in other tutorials that Embrilliance will tell you if you get to where it's going to start distorting the design. It'll say, nope, I can't resize it anymore. So you don't have to worry about that with Embrilliance. And using those black squares helps you to be able to get it exactly centered in your in this little opening here for the truck. So I like the look of that. The simple ones were really cool too. I like a little bit wild or different. So I'm going to go with this. I think that's really fun. Now notice it's at the end of my design, which is what I want. I'm not going to do a color sort or anything. I'm just closing this up. So this one is all one color, so I'm not going to have to hit stop or anything. If it were different colors, you would want to either use different threads or change them all to one color so that you're not hitting go every time. So anyway, that was really simple to do. And again, if you turned your design and you want it turned the way that it's supposed to be in the book, or if you're using an 8x12 hoop or a 6x10 hoop, then you would have to turn it sideways. So you would easily just click all three parts of the design and then click that left, the rotate button. So that would work easily to do. I'm going to leave mine as is. I think that this will work out well. Don't forget, you have to move that truck up and check it to make sure you're a ½ inch from the farthest end. And so that all worked out really well. I'm going to do a file, save stitch file as, and I'm going to find my Falling for Autumn quilt, embroidery files, Pez, quilt, and I'm going to name this 8x8 truck. And I personalized it and I added my quilting. You could add whatever information you need. You don't want it too long, so I'm just going to leave it like that. And I'm going to go ahead and send it to my machine. If you don't have a wireless ready machine, you would just save it to a USB stick and it's all good to go. I hope that was helpful. shirt today is Quilting with Friends Will Keep You in Stitches. I love this one. This is from Designs by Juju. I will add a link underneath the video with the pack that I got it from, so that you can direct link on that to purchase it if you choose. There were a few really fun designs in that pack. I think there were like 5 or 6 designs, and my niece is coming over today and we are going to quilt together, so this is a perfect shirt for that. And if you've got a buddy to quilt with, and I know a lot of people have met buddies that are close by in the Cristin Creates group, and I love seeing that. That is just so cool. So very fun. Hopefully you're having fun, even if it's just me in your craft room with you playing along on a TV or something in the background. I love to enjoy quilting with you. Oh, and the shirt is from Amazon. I'll add a link here if you want to buy a shirt, an easy to embroider on shirt. I love this one. I love the pink, of course. There's lots of different colors that this shirt comes in. It's very easy to embroider. So check out that link above and place an order to embroider on a shirt and share in the Cristin Creates group so that I can see what you've done. And how are you doing with your goal? I did nothing toward my goal last night. Nothing, absolutely nothing. I did really good the day before, but last night I worked until 2:30, I think, in the morning. So I'm trying to get caught up on our project after being out of town last weekend. So I worked really hard. I did not get a workout in, but I did walk the dogs like 3 or 4 times, so that counts for something. And I ate really healthy all day, except my husband took me out to dinner last night and we went to the Cheesecake Factory, and I don't like cheesecake, thankfully, but I do like strawberry shortcake, and they had strawberry shortcake, so I had half of a strawberry shortcake last night. I did not add the whipped cream, but I did have the ice cream and the strawberries and the little biscuit. Oh my gosh, it was really yummy. So I've got to make sure to get my workout in tonight.